So, who's your hero?
Well, that's a good question. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Catholicism and Coffee. I am Stephen Gasinski.
I am Beth Kaczynski.
We talk about Catholicism, all things Catholic, and enjoy some great brews. Today we're going to be talking about, we'll be starting a new series. We're going to talk about the hero's journey. Now, if you have read any of our work as far as the blog recently, where I talk about film-forming faith, we will touch on this later in this episode. I've been talking about the hero's journey. Now, you may have heard this if you watch any kind of media podcast talking about storytelling and such, or any writer's workshops. The hero's journey is very important. I'm actually going to quote from a book that actually really popularized the term the hero's journey, which was from Joseph Campbell. He wrote a book called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. So, in the book, he actually says, and I quote, "A hero ventures forth from the world of common day into a region of supernatural wonder. Fabulous forces are there encountered, and a decisive victory is won. The hero comes back from this mysterious adventure with the power to bestow boons on his fellow man." So that's the basic gist of the hero's journey. Now, he does, in the book, he actually goes through various steps and such. In screenwriting, at least in my class, because we were trained classically, in classic screenwriting we have a hero's journey as well. The hero is called to action. They face obstacles, they have to overcome, they win, they lose, there's the result, and they're changed by this experience. You can look at Star Wars. Luke, he's a farm boy, and he's called to action to save the princess from the evil empire. He's changed by this experience because he has allies who come along to help him through this journey. Han Solo, the roguish smuggler, the Ben Kenobi, the Jedi, the space wizard, and stuff like that. And he's learns about the truth about his father. He learns about what the Jedis were like, what the Empire is really up to, beyond his little sphere that he was kind of forced into. So there's that. Let's go with a different genre, because we've talked Star Wars to death on this channel. A romantic movie, or a romantic comedy. Basic. Boy meets girl. Boy likes girl. Boy loses girl. Boy gets girl back. So that's a basic hero's journey for you in writing.
And this goes beyond screenwriting. As someone who studied all forms of writing, or many forms of writing, we also use the hero's journey. If maybe you're not such a movie buff, but you're a reader, you're going to find this in your books.
Mm-hmm. And the good ones anyway.
The good ones anyway, yes.
Yeah.
And we can also apply the hero's journey to biblical stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going to start this off with Abraham and Sarah. It's best to go back to the beginning.
Yes.
They're the best ones to start with.
Yeah. So, as you mentioned in the hero's journey from Joseph Campbell, it starts with someone who's just very common. So, Abraham, or Abram as he's known at the beginning, he lives a pretty common life. He just does his thing. He's got livestock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's just an everyman. There's no talk of him being some great priest, or he's some great landowner. He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. He built stuff too, but he wasn't, he wasn't really anything to write home about.
Yes. And then the next step is, this hero who's very common encounters a supernatural wonder, a fabulous force. God literally speaks to Abram. Could anything be more fabulous than that?
I got nothing.
Yeah. So that's a supernatural force of the highest caliber.
Yes.
So then after that, then Abram and Sarai, or Sarah, I don't know how to pronounce her name before she becomes Sarah, they go on a bit of an adventure. They have a bit of a journey. They go to Canaan first. They travel through Egypt, and a lot happens in that time.
Mm-hmm. And he encounters allies along the way, like Melchizedek, the high priest.
Yes.
he encounters several different folks along the way. So he has these allies. He's transformed. His name changes. He has a child in old age. Well, both he and Sarah have children in old age, which is very much,
Yeah, and you could say during Abraham's journey, he's got several smaller hero's journey in his overall life hero's journey.
Yeah.
Because first there's all his travels. There's him meeting his allies. He's fighting people.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the whole question of, oh, you're going to be a father of a great nation. Your descendants will be as numerous as the stars. And there's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of struggle leading up to the birth of Isaac.
Yeah.
And then Sarah, at first, she's just laughing. She's like, I can't have children. I'm barren.
I'm old.
Yeah, but then it's like, then she has her son. So her journey, as we know it, is pretty much complete with the birth of Isaac.
Yeah.
But then Abraham goes on to live for many, many more years. He sees Isaac grow up and become a man. And then there's the whole God testing Abraham to say, hey, take your son Isaac and sacrifice him.
Yeah. And the infamous, don't lay a hand on a boy.
Yeah.
That's another thing to kind of shake Abraham from his pagan upbringing.
Yeah, and you could say that just the journey with Isaac up to the mountain is a hero's journey because Abraham's being tested. He's going through a very hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, he's victorious. He's rewarded. His son gets to live.
Yeah.
He's found favor with God.
Yeah. And he encounters multiple supernatural forces because an angel of God prevents him from killing Isaac. And God talks to him.
Yep.
Actually, it's a messenger of God, which we assume is an angel. But still, there are these questions. There's the classic storytelling trope of the hero's journey. That's why it works. That's why we're attracted to it. That's why mythology is built upon the hero's journey. Our modern mythology of, say, superhero films. Or we have the hero's journey in action movies, or all kinds of different stories. We have the hardened detective type dramas. Those are if they are written correctly, following what a hero's journey is supposed to be. The hero's journey is there.
Yes. And to finish up, the hero's journey is just not about their journey, their adventures, the way they're challenged, the way they overcome their challenges. They got a big ol' happy, victorious ending. I like to think Abraham's got a pretty good ending, considering he becomes the father of the Christian faith and the father of the Jewish faith.
Uh-huh.
And I think he's considered the father of another faith. Don't quote me on this, I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, there's...
Christianity and Judaism are the two that we're most familiar with, obviously.
Yeah. Islam can make the argument as well to a point, but we're not experts in that. I have not read the Quran, so I can't say that for sure. But so, as I started our episode with, we talked about the hero's journey, unless you have something else to add.
And then the ending, the decisive victory is won. The hero comes back from this mysterious adventure with the power to bestow boons on his fellow man.
Yeah, he helps start a nation.
Yes. A nation that has survived for thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah. And it's had its own hero's journey along the way.
Yes, and that hero's journey is not complete.
No. It won't be complete till Christ comes back.
Yes.
But still, there's that question of what's the hero's journey look like, and Abraham begot many of the biblical patriarchs, even leading to Christ himself. So he's got a pretty long line of heroes himself, and he's bestowing the boons on fellow man.
So where do you think morality is in the hero's journey?
Well, we humans have free will. We have the choice to do for good or for ill. Abraham does both.
Yes, he does.
If you read his story throughout the book of Genesis, he makes some good decisions. He makes some really bad decisions. Sarah too.
Yes.
She makes some very good decisions. She also makes some horrible, very poor judgments.
Yeah.
But
A lot of that comes from she doesn't trust God. She thinks, oh, I can't have children. Here, have a child with my maid instead. Oh, now I'm resenting my maid.
Yeah, so that kind of creates there will be mistakes. The hero will make mistakes along the way.
Yes.
They'll fall straight on their face, but the best thing they can do is to get back up and try to learn from their mistakes and make the best decisions they can. And Abraham does that throughout Scripture, and that's the hero's journey.
Yes.
The best hero's journeys, the heroes make fools of themselves at first. Anything else you want to add before I go into shameless self-promotion?
The hero's journey, it really is just commentary on human nature at its core, because as a writer, you don't just make up people from thin air. You're inspired by your life, what you observe, the human condition, psychology. And this is just a theory explaining all of that within the world of fiction, of course.
Yeah.
But it's inspired by real life, inspired by human nature, which is ultimately created by God.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I comment a lot on the hero's journey in this book, Film Forming Faith. It's available on Amazon. We'll have the link in the description of this video. We'll be talking about, where I talk a lot about the hero's journey, I will in limit, because many modern writers I don't think have even researched the hero with 1,000 faces. I have not read the book. I'm probably going to at some point. So
Maybe I'll get it for you for your birthday.
There we go. And I can be a better writer. So the hero's journey is very important to telling good stories. You, each one of you who are watching this, are on your hero's journey. And I hope that you will make good decisions. The right decisions. God will not lead you into temptation. We actually pray for that in the Our Father every Sunday during Mass. Every Mass we pray for because we proclaim the Our Father during every single Mass. Let us not lead us not into temptation. God will not lead you wrong.
And when you do go astray, He will bring you back on the right path.
Yep. You just have to ask.
Yes.
It won't be easy. Sometimes it's not always easy to discern, but He will lead you back. He is that supernatural force. He is that ally that will lead you to the right path. And maybe with this knowledge, you can look at other stories, biblical, fictional, whatever, and see the hero's journey throughout that. Heroes are not perfect. There's only been one, and that's Jesus and Mary. But she has had her own hero's journey. Let me talk about her. We'll decide.
So if you want to hear about more hero's journeys of biblical characters or saints, let us know who you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear us talk about the hero's journey, well, we may talk about it anyway.
Yeah. So like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you
Yes.
haven't already. We read our comments. We usually respond to them. Definitely check out the rest of our videos, our books. We have some really good blog posts as of late. You actually spoke a little bit about the hero's journey in your recent blog post about Sky High.
Yes, I did.
Christopher wrote a great blog post about
Little House on the Prairie.
Little House on the Prairie, and there's
the most recent one.
That's his most recent one. There are some hero's journey moments in there. Definitely look at that. It's very well written, and as usual, he brings his great insight and brilliance into his writing. And we talked about Superman, talked about a hero's journey in our last live episode. Check that out. We spoke about that at length in that episode. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to, for housekeeping purposes.
By Film Forming Faith. Or read it on Kindle Unlimited.
Yes, we have it on Kindle. Anything else? I can't think of anything else. So think about your hero's journey in your life, and whether you're reading about it, seeing it in movies and television, or just heroes that you've had in your life. Learn about the hero's journey. Maybe you have a relative who served honorably in the services and did a lot of good, or your priests have had their hero's journeys. Ask them about it. Read about it. It's interesting to see how different people got formed. In the meantime, be bold, be brave, be courageous, like all the heroes and their heroes' journeys. Enjoy some caffeinated beverages. Most of the best ones do. God bless.